What's up, everybody? Come on back into another episode of Game Runs Deep. I'm Sudu. That is Ben Garrett.
Yep.
And Benny G, just so much going on in college football right now. Obviously, we got the playoff field set, and you've got Ole Miss bringing in most of their offensive assistants who we thought were in Baton Rouge, coming back to Oxford to help coach the playoff run. Ole Miss just hired an offensive coordinator. So much to get to today. But first of all, it's been a few days, dude. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. How are you? It's been busy. What you're looking at these days, especially at Ole Miss, is what used to be about 3 to 6 months worth of stuff packed into a 2 week period, right? It's not just Lane Kiffin leaving for LSU. It's National Signing Day. It's the transfer portal and all those considerations as well. And for Pete Golding, amidst all this, and they resume practices for the college football playoff on Monday. Amidst all of this, he's got to fill out a staff. And today went a long way in doing that, specifically with the most important hire for him and his future as head coach, as the offensive coordinator hire. Went with a familiar name, John David Baker, who's Ole Miss's passing game coordinator, was Ole Miss's passing game coordinator and tight ends coach. Left in 2023 to call his own offense for East Carolina after the Peach Bowl in 2023. And this year, they were top 25 in 5 separate categories. It makes a lot of sense as far as seamlessness with what system they've been running for 6 years. John David Baker is a disciple of that specific offense, got his own blend and variation of it. But from a seamlessness standpoint, philosophically and schematically, it makes a lot of sense. They talked to Seth Doege at Arizona, Charlie Weiss coming back to coach the playoffs. But I know I talked to a number of people in that building over there. They were thinking if we could just get Charlie back in here, he ain't going nowhere. But I think a lot of things factored into that. Not the least of which is a near $6 million buyout before March, since he signed a contract with LSU. So Lane Kiffin kind of putting these coaches in a tough position, specifically with making them get on the plane or you're not guaranteed a spot. It put a lot of guys under the gun a little bit, and I think Charlie is one of them. But he's the LSU offensive coordinator now. Ole Miss has got John David Baker, Kelvin Bolden's coming back, and none of this will come as a surprise to anybody if you've been paying attention to Talk of Champions, my podcast here, Game Runs Deep, or especially at the Ole Miss Spirit, omspirit.com, and affiliate of On3. Sign up today for $1. Man, we talk about this stuff all day, every day. And Kelvin Bolden, as I've been posting on the Ole Miss Spirit, has been working for Ole Miss for a little while now. A handful of days now. He was formerly Ole Miss's director of recruiting strategy, left for LSU back in June to reunite with Austin Thomas, who was LSU general manager at the time, and now he's back in that recruiting office. I think Austin Thomas could be not far behind, if not unofficially already Ole Miss's general manager. So putting all the pieces together, a lot of familiar faces, but I think John David Baker's a great fit for what Ole Miss needs right now. I'm curious to see what his role will be, especially during this playoff run. If Charlie's calling plays, will he be on the sidelines? Will he be involved in that way? I don't know how that'll work, but I do know that this was the biggest hire for Pete Golding to make first, because just like before Pete Golding joined Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin, it's a good record. There's no knocking it, but he was 23-10, and then when Pete came and was the CEO of his own entire side, that's when Ole Miss really took off into a different stratosphere as far as contention. So the hope here is JDB can be his own CEO of that side. Got to finish out that kind of side of it, but it makes a lot of sense. It's maybe not as splashy as a Brian Daboll would have been or something like that, but philosophically in the uniformity that this program has had for so long, and the organizational structure that they've and it's a next level organizational structure that separated them from so many of their contemporaries in this sport of the last handful of years. JDB fits perfectly into that, and that's why it makes a ton of sense, and he's exciting with the numbers by themselves. So a good hire for him, big hire, and now I think what we're waiting for is wide receivers coach, tight ends coach, not the least of which is general manager, who we talked about with Austin Thomas. I think keeping the whole defensive staff was a boon for Pete Golding, allowed him to not really fall behind in that way. And it's a good hire, man, and one that needed to happen and needed to happen pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And now it's done.
No doubt about it. I mean, and that was the name that was obviously the most popular, was John David Baker. Obviously, we were big Buster Faulkner guys, and John Summerall also felt the same way, obviously. But no, really
So
excited. I
so
mean,
did Pete Golding. Buster Faulkner was one of the most popular OC guys out there this cycle. He's a
yeah,
head coach sooner rather than later, which you've been saying,
you
but
don't
it
got to
was
tell me twice.
but the thing about Sudo is you were floating his name for Ole Miss head coach, and I'm like, bro, calm
Look,
down,
look.
you know.
My thinking on that was it was what happened, and I mean I knew that Pete Golding was a very, very realistic shot if Lane dragged out the process and kind of torpedoed Ole Miss's ability to go get somebody else.
Mm,
So my thing in that was, hey, there's this really kind of guy. I mean, there's a guy that people should know. I mean, the man was making $1.5 million to coach in the ACC, but he's still kind of flying under the radar. If you get on him early and you're the team that hires him, this could be another home run hire for Ole Miss. That was kind of my thinking. I didn't disagree with you as far as, hey, he hasn't really had the head coaching experience, but neither is Pete, right? And Pete's a
mm,
dynamic coordinator who's also never been a head coach.
that's right.
Pete is just a little more established, and obviously it's his coach for championship level coaches. So is Buster. He's won natties at Georgia, but that was more so my thinking. But yeah, as soon as Pete was hired, it just became a no-brainer. It's like, go get Buster Faulkner. But John David Baker was always that close number two. Like, you saw what his offense was able to do at ECU this year. And what I just love what Pete said, and I want to talk a little bit about Pete's presser. I know you've talked about it on Talk of Champions, but I saw your tweet where you're like, he dropped like 20 shits and 10 hells or whatever it
Like
was
I
in
was,
the
it's
presser.
like I was talking to myself in the mirror in that way. I was like, "Dad, gum, man," because
There's
God is good, and I've been trying to work on my potty mouth for a long, long time, and
yeah.
I'm like, dude, this is the vibe I feel. This is
Yeah.
how I understand
There
it,
are a
right?
lot
I
of
mean,
men in Oxford or just in Mississippi that saw Pete Golding speak the other day and went, "That's my guy right there. That's like your buddy, right down, like you're just hanging out with." I love his persona, but what he talked about as far as, hey, we want things to continue. Like, if it's not broken, we're not going to fix it. There's no reason to. Let's just keep the same system intact. And what he said about if coaches leave, assistants can step up, and it's like it's running a professional organization, right? So there's not chaos when you lose an assistant or you lose your whole offensive staff or something. And I really did like Pete what Pete said about that. And John David Baker is essentially that, right? He's a guy that knows how to run that offense. And if you get this waiver for Trinidad, he comes back, whatever. You can maintain that same offense from this year. It's not a completely new offense, which is really nice. Do want to get to some of the comments real quick, Ben. Appreciate all y'all for joining.
that's what I've been reading over here. I saw.
Did you see JDB's style of offense compared to Charlie Weiss? What's the difference? I mean,
It's
there's not
very. I
much,
mean,
right?
it's not much difference. They're all from the Lane Kiffin tree. I mean, what you've been seeing, it's their variation of it. So it's up tempo, same type of style. And if you look at the numbers, it was successful. And it's not like East Carolina. To do this at East Carolina is impressive. That's all I'm going to say. East Carolina was ninth this season in first downs in the country, 12th in third down conversions, 14th in total offense, 15th in passing offense, 25th in scoring offense. So top 25 for 8-win East Carolina um, in five different separate categories for
Mm-hmm.
John David Baker. They were 41st in rushing offense and 42nd in team passing efficiency, and yeah, what you've seen, what you're used to seeing out there on an Ole Miss football field offensively, you're going to see a very similar variation to that, both through tempo, stylistically, the running component with the quarterback, and it was big for. I'm glad you brought up Trinidad Chambliss because the waiver question is the number one thing. Jackson Carter 952 Chambliss or Simmons will get in the portal. Agreed. Agreed. I don't
Yeah, I mean,
think
have
both
you
of
heard
them.
Austin Simmons' dad going on
Agreed.
podcasts? I mean, good God,
Agreed.
man.
Like
It,
you're not
it's
telling us anything we don't know.
yeah.
At the Ole Miss Spirit, we've been talking about this. I think that if I put it this way, there's nothing that's. I mean, there are no real rules anymore, right? There are no real guardrails. So I would be surprised, even though there's a stronger case according to the old rules, or the rules that used to be actually implemented and upheld. There's more of a case for Trinidad not to get that extra year than there is. But man, at this point, all these guys, at this point, everybody's getting their waivers, and Trinidad certainly deserves to get his if everybody else is getting them. And if he is, he'll be Ole Miss's quarterback next year. Yeah, of course, LSU will come after him, but Austin Simmons in that scenario with Trinidad Chambliss getting an extra year of eligibility, I think becomes the obvious one to go into the transfer portal. His dad has handled this terribly poor in a terribly poor way, but Austin Simmons has handled this like a pro. And I want that to be said. If and when he does get into the transfer portal, I know Ole Miss would love to keep him around. I mean, they think he could be their quarterback next year, especially
Mm-hmm.
if Trinidad doesn't get that waiver. Um, because he didn't lose his job because of performance. He lost his job because of injury.
Right.
And Ole Miss has nothing but love and tremendous belief in what Austin Simmons could be, and he's handled it so well. And I mean, he had his arm around Pete when they walked out together on the court for his introduction in front of that pavilion crowd. Yeah, I just think Austin's done it well. His dad, on the other hand, yeah, he hadn't handled it well at all. But it comes with it, and yeah, one of those two will probably get in the transfer portal. I'd be shocked if they didn't. But right
What
now,
did you think?
I'm
What did
expecting Trinidad to get that waiver and be Ole Miss's quarterback.
Yeah. What did you think of the commercial, the AT&T commercial? We
Loved
haven't
it.
we it's been I know this like these things move so quick, these news cycles. Ben and I
Yeah,
haven't spoken since we recorded like last week. We've texted a little bit, but like what did
crazy.
you think? Because there's a whole conspiracy now. It's like, oh, is he alluding to transfer? And I'm like, I don't think he'd be wearing the Ole Miss jersey. First of all, Ole Miss got him the commercial, right? That came from Ole Miss's efforts to
Look,
to build brands for their players. So I just wanted to hear your thoughts on that because I had group chats losing their minds. Oh, dude, does this mean he's leaving? Oh, this means he's staying. And I was like, I would lean towards him staying, but there's really no telling. Like, there's
number
really no
one, every single kid on every single roster in America is year to year now. Every single kid. Wait a second. You mean to tell me that Jackson Dart got in? Yes, Jackson Dart got reached out to by every single school in America. Well, we'll
telling.
pay you this. We'll pay you that. It's an absolute mess. It's the Wild West. So, guys, girls, anyone watching, accept that your favorite player, there's just as good a chance, no matter how good it goes. At the end of the year, he goes somewhere else that he stays. It's 50-50. It's all part of negotiation. Players last year that really didn't play all that much, Ole Miss had to renegotiate with them and keep them on the roster. All right, you look at William Eccles, you look at Cam Franklin. So the way it looks to me, and Ole Miss, old memes, I love that dude on Twitter. He's awesome. When do we find out one way or another about Trinidad's waiver? I think you're going to find out about it within the next week or two. I think they kind of have to. I don't think this is something that's going to be dragged out very long. But if and when Austin Simmons gets into the portal, Trinidad Chambliss will be Ole Miss's quarterback with the waiver if he does get that waiver. And then they'll go. They've already signed Reese Wise, and then they'll go into the portal. And if Deuce Nice gets into the portal, buddy, he'll be an Ole Miss Rebel, in my opinion. So then your room is back to where it was. In regards to the commercial, man, look, I love a good conspiracy. I love going down a rabbit hole. But I learned about this commercial from Ole Miss people, officials in that building, sending me the commercial saying, "Hey, look what our guy did. Big for the brand." You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
So, do I think that says one thing or another about his transfer opportunity? No. But if it did, I'd be like, well, dang. I mean, Ole Miss is all in on this kid. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Yeah.
he's the face, and they've totally embraced it. Ole Miss is the one that drove the bus on that to get him that commercial. I know they're certainly excited about what the future could be if they do get that waiver. I'm not really thinking one way or another about it. I just thought it was a cool opportunity, and it put the focus again back where it was supposed to be this whole time,
Yeah.
which is the players and his incredible accomplishment. He should be in New York,
Dumbass.
and because of a coach and his cult of personality, who's been checked out since October. He's not getting the love he deserves. Keywan Lacey's not getting the love he deserves. What's up, Ben? I'm fired up about these. Ole Miss is here to stay from Ova Bell two times. That's Cameron Bell at the Ole Miss Spirit, OleMissSpirit.com, Fit on 3. Join us today. You're awesome, dude. Thank you. I want to give a quick shout out before we move on here. So after the viral moment, if you will, Ole Miss fans, y'all been awesome. Sending me stuff, not just messages and texts, in the mail from my guy Chris Collins, Ole Miss class of '96. Sent
Oh,
me
let's
hats.
go.
Can't Hide Money brand, can'thidemoney.com. It's sharp. I met his daughter Sadie, and also Mason. I forgot I met Mason too at the basketball game, Ole Miss basketball game. When, man, so many people wanted to come up and take pictures, and I'm sorry, man, because I'm ugly as hell.
Dude, are you getting
Uh,
NIL now? Is that what I'm hearing? You got
Dude,
you,
I
you
haven't
got
gotten
NIL
another. I
deals?
haven't
What's
got an
going on,
extra dime through all this. Like, if anybody could tell your boy how to make money, cool. But like,
bro?
I'd give it away because it doesn't matter to me.
Hey,
But
Walker got you by the way on your pod last week. I heard him go, "Well, you need a new agent."
he's
And I,
right. I don't have an agent. I'm my
I
own
was like,
agent, and I'm not a good one. You know what I mean?
I know.
Like, but I don't care about that. I did want to give them a shout because Chris, man, this was awesome. It arrived in the mail. You know, Can't Hide Money
That's a
brand,
nice hat.
can'thidemoney.com, and they do great stuff. And they're huge Ole Miss people. He said he watches the show. Even mentioned Sudu. He said we love the show. Make sure to give one to Sudu and Brad. Although I was I would never wear a hat over the locks he has. He's talking about Brad. Good luck with the show. We'll continue to be an everydayer. Chris, thank you for
Let's
this.
go. Shout out
Support
Chris.
them. If you want a Can't Hide Money hat, can'thidemoney.com. It's sharp. It's awesome. And man, it just the response from Ole Miss fans. That's enough for me, man. I mean, that's enough for me. Like
Ben,
the amount of support, bro, has been insane, and that was just really cool to get that in the mail with a nice written letter. Thank you so much. And like on the box, they had like had it addressed to Ben Garrett, and under it, Ginger Shrek. Like, I love that dude. Yeah, I love
I
that so
love
much.
it.
James McDonald, that's a nice hat. Can't hide money I don't have. Same, friend. Same.
You're
But
not
we
lying.
can. But because look at me, I walk around in swim trunks all day. But I'm still gonna wear that hat because it's fresh. I mean, look at that thing. And it's
Hey,
great.
I
Oh, this is
was
the only one. Look at this one. There's that one. There's that one.
oh dude, which one am I getting? Which
And
one's
there's that
mine?
one.
Which one do you want?
Dude, I'll give you whatever you want of these hats, man.
All
Whichever,
right.
because I like them all. But like, look at that. Look at that. Oh, great
We'll
stuff.
figure it out next week in Oxford. Speaking of your viral moment, dude, it's just so funny, like the avenues of my life that have like blended together because of it. I'm at a Christmas party at my friend's parents' house yesterday. They're in their 70s, and they're talking about Ben Garrett. We're sitting by
Oh,
the
that's
fire
insane.
outside, and we're having our drinks and we're eating and whatever. And her father brings up Ben Garrett to me, and then everybody there, whether they were sports people or not, most of them were, but immediately had something to say. And it's just so funny, man. Like, it's just, I've known you for so long. It's just like, people just randomly go, "Is that the guy you do the show with?" Or, "What do you know
Yep.
about that Ben, Spirit Ben?" And I'm like, I know too much about Spirit Ben. Actually, I
Mm-hmm.
probably know more than I need to
Mm-hmm.
about Spirit Ben.
It's
But
true.
it's, no, it's truly awesome, man. And it's so awesome that, like, it's, the arc of it all, like the initial reaction to where you're at now. We got to find a way to get you money, though. We got to find a way to get you paid. If there's any marketing people or anything out there that can help Ben, um, we
Uh,
should we should do that. We should,
I'm
because you can't
thankful.
hide money, and I want to see it. I want to see it stacked up to the ceiling. You feel
There you
me?
go. Oh yeah, I need a stack to the ceiling. Yeah, well, see, here's the thing. God has made it very crystal clear to me. I'm never going to be a millionaire,
That's
but
not
I'm
true.
too
You
blessed
don't
to
know
be
that.
stressed. You know what I mean?
Damn right.
Can't hide money. Well, I can hide my money because I'm like my guy James McDonald in the chat. Yeah, bro, I ain't got it neither. But I got a great job. Shannon, Terry, and on three have been incredibly supportive of me. Um, and my '04 F-150, man, that thing's paid off. It's still running, low mileage. Man, I'm too blessed to be stressed. But like for Ole Miss, this is a big day because John David Baker's a big hire, and I've seen a lot of
No, it's big.
people in the chat talking about Frank Wilson. And it came out today from Pete Thamel that of ESPN that Frank Wilson still doesn't have clarity on his future at LSU. Um, Last week, man, I put it on the Ole Miss Spirit, OleMissSpirit.com, affiliate of On Three. Sign up for $1. I put it on the Ole Miss Spirit that there was real momentum building towards Frank Wilson joining Pete Golding's staff. Frank Wilson, or Pete Golding rather, was Frank Wilson's defensive coordinator at UTSA. They have a long-standing relationship. And then the recruiting results happened on Wednesday, and then Thursday and Friday, including Deuce Gerald's. And those results, not to mention a kind of cooling of whatever momentum that was, seemed to indicate to me that Lane Kiffin understood how important Frank Wilson was for retaining. He was just going to make it work. But now, a week later, not like it's back to where it was. No clarity. I think Ole Miss has real interest in him. They will have an opportunity to hire a running backs coach because Kevin Smith, in my opinion, is headed to LSU after the playoff is over. But Frank could coach tight ends and be the assistant head coach if he wanted to. I think Jake Schoonover is going to be associate head or assistant head coach with his promotion after he signed his new deal, and he was pursued by LSU as well. But Frank, I think there's certainly an opportunity for him. Derek Nix as well. They're looking for a wide receivers coach, but really they're looking for the Frank Wilsons, the Derek Nixes, the added value everywhere else. It doesn't matter about the position coach. All these coaches, none of them go, I'm gonna when I get up, whenever I get done like learning this thing and I grow up in this business, I'm gonna be the best offensive line coach ever. All of them have aspirations to be a head coach. They're a head coach of their own room. So Frank could coach tight ends. Derek could coach wide receivers or running backs. What they're looking for right now is just the best fit. JDB is the best fit today. I think Frank could be the best fit if it continues to not work out at LSU. But I just find it hard to believe. Lane Kiffin is many things. One of the things he is not is dumb when it comes to football decisions. To let Frank walk out of that room would be dumb. I hope he does it because, talk about, cutting your own legs out from under you. It's like that whole meme with the dude riding a bike and he sticks the sticks in and goes like, "How did this happen?" You know what I mean? Like, I don't know why you do it. Like Frank Wilson is great, but Ole Miss does have interest, and there was real momentum last week. It's cooled a little bit, but I still think it's something that is a possibility.
The
Uh,
connection is nice too, right?
yeah,
Like he's been there, but also the Pete Golding connection of
yeah.
them having, he was on Wilson's staff at
And
UTSA
I
and
knew,
all
I know,
that.
like I think his wife didn't really love Oxford back when they were, but this was during Orgeron's
This is
time.
Orgeron
I
years. A
mean,
lot
come
of
on.
people weren't enjoying Oxford at that time,
Yeah, come to Oxford, Mississippi in 2025, you'll be shocked. You'll go, "Oh my, it's not the same place. It's
Yeah,
development after development. It's more than that. Like there's not just one grocery store anymore. You know what I
no
mean? Like
doubt.
it's a different
Oh,
place.
it's dude. Every time I come to town, it's so fun. And I come every
It's
6, 7
crazy.
months. Like it's not that,
Did you just do a six,
Oh
7 year old?
God, please don't. I'm
Oh
so
my,
over it, dude.
you're over it. I have a 13-year-old and a 9-year
I
old.
know, I know. I have two nieces too, man. And every time I call them, it's like I can't avoid it.
You just did it
Uh,
though.
I know.
Yesterday,
I don't
a
even
friend
try.
of a friend of my kids, she went, "Hey, Mr. Ben, up high, down low, in heaven, 6'7". I am determined to make 6'7" the most uncool thing I can. We were sitting at dinner the other day. Gracie was having, Gracie, she's the best. She's my 13-year-old. She's smarter than me. She's perfect. I love her. And but she gets so embarrassed so easily. So I just started going, if you say make one more stupid 6'7" joke, I'm gonna. She's like, okay, I'm not gonna do it, and she did. So in front of God and everybody, I'm going 6'7", right, Gracie? 6'7". I don't understand. It means nothing.
It means
And yet
nothing,
you
dude.
still did it. It is so ingrained in our systems now that even Sue on this Game Runs Deep talking about Ole Miss football, the college football playoff, he goes 6. Don't act like that wasn't intentional. You ain't
I
slick.
just said
You
the
ain't
two.
slick.
Nah, dude, I said the two numbers. I didn't make a big deal out of it, but I'm with you,
Wait,
man.
so it just means that I'm like 267 coded now.
You're
Like,
bro. It's because I'm telling you, it's the same
go,
for me. I didn't even catch it in that moment, but I swear, when I talk to my nieces, it's like, oh my god, that's all they say. It's
that's all I
annoying.
say.
Um, but no,
Can'thidemoney.com. That was really nice. Thank you, Chris.
yeah,
This
that's
was
awesome.
wonderful. This
That
was
is
great.
so cool.
I will make
But
sure to get Sidhu a hat.
yeah. No, I'm definitely gonna snag one from you next week.
You want? Oh wait, you're going to be in town. You coming in for the game?
I'll be there for the playoff, man. I would never miss that. But so no, all in all, I mean, it's good. It's good momentum based on what happened a week ago and just the initial shock of all the assistants leaving right before the playoffs and everything. And there was the fear of, okay, will the committee bump Ole Miss down? And hey, all seems to be well right now. You do have to play Tulane. I understand it's a group of 5 team, and I know you beat them by a lot earlier in the season, but they still have their head coach, and
Yep.
they're going to be getting another crack at it in Oxford. So obviously a lot of excitement coming in those terms. You mentioned the recruiting wins, being able to salvage the class and add some, some key prospects. That was a big deal for Ole Miss. So, Ben, like where we were sitting 2 Sundays ago or last Sunday or whatever it was to now, this is about as good as it could have gone, right? Like there's like you're talking about the staff members that are being hired. You mentioned Frank Wilson potentially on the horizon. Whatever happened to Derek Nix? Did you ever follow up on
Yeah.
the potential of?
Derek Nix has a lot of interest. His main thing, though, is you got to understand from a human perspective. I mean, like Derek spent 15 years here. He doesn't want to take a step back. He just got to start calling plays, and he did pretty dead gum well. So,
Yeah.
if he has an opportunity to continue calling plays as a primary play caller, he wasn't a candidate to be Ole Miss's OC. But certainly they would welcome him back as associate head coach and or wide receivers, running backs coach, in-state recruiting monster that he is. But he could also get that at State. Like State wants him in that way. Memphis and under Huff, he's under consideration unless they've made a hire, and I haven't checked that. All of it runs together, guys. So I'm just going off of what I know right now. The latest thing I've heard on this, and he was up or at least in consideration for the Memphis OC job under Huff. USM, far as I can tell, has not hired anyone to replace Huff. And man, that's his home. That's he's an alumnus from USM. He would, I would hope for Derek that he'd get a real shot and get the USM head coaching job. I think it'd be great for him. But what that does is it delays what could be a reunion at Ole Miss. But that's because Derek, to his credit, is a wanted man now.
Yeah.
And you just that's all that is. It's part of it. I mean, we're all so used to things happening now that we forget there are real life and human considerations with all of this stuff. So I think Derek is obviously a candidate. Somebody they've already talked to. There've been real conversations with, just like with Frank Wilson, just like with Ron Roberts, who appears ticketed to Arkansas. People have been asking about, well, what about defensive coordinator? Well, Brian Brown was the co-defensive coordinator with Pete Golding. I mean, Brian Brown was a defense coordinator at Louisville before coming over here to be co-DC with Pete. He's called his own defense, but like Brian Brown from Corinth, Mississippi, he's your defense coordinator right now. They would like to hire a co-DC to go with him, I think, and Ron Roberts would make a lot of sense in that way.
And
But
and and
also, if
Brock
he can,
is also a member of the Ron Roberts tree, right?
yeah.
Like so
So like,
that would be sick, man. To have him in the press, up top in the coach's box and have Pete on
yeah.
the field would be just awesome. But I understand Ron
So
Roberts
so that,
probably.
but like all those guys have other options too. With
Yeah.
Ron, it's Arkansas. With Derek, it's multiple. With Frank Wilson, I mean, ideally Frank. I mean, he's a NOLA guy. He's a Louisiana through and through guy. I mean, Chad Bumpus to a much lesser extent, but Chad Bumpus being let go by Mississippi State is like that. You know what I mean? Like Chad Bumpus is a state legend
Right.
forever and always.
Oh, I'll remember that
Frank
name.
Wilson is a Louisiana. Like he is one of the greatest Louisianians. Is that how you say it? Louisianans?
I
don't know.
think God.
He's one of the great, like, as far as college football is concerned. I mean, he's revered just for what he did in high school. I mean, that dude is a legend in the state of Louisiana. So I understand. I mean, that's a human consideration.
Right.
Unfortunately, he has to make that with someone who's not, who's more robotic and kind of lacking any type of feelings like Lane Kiffin. But other than that, well, Lane Kiffin is just Regina George in a 50-year-old SEC head coach's body. You know what I mean?
His
That's who he
daughter
is.
Ben posted a TikTok during football season.
They need to stop talking.
And she said this was before all the drama, and she posted a video of Lane and said, "I swear my dad is a 12-year-old boy trapped in a grown man's body." And I literally went, "This is how I've always viewed him." When Landry said it, I went, "I've always said this. I've always thought that he was very childlike, the things he does."
I mean, but wait, but I want to coach LSU and coach the playoffs too. No. Well, Ben, wait a second. They let the assistants come back. The head coach is much, much different.
Yeah.
And if you would have known the behavior specifically, and it's not verified, so I'm not going to speak on it, but like this man tried to burn the place to the ground. He was always leaving. And like, see, that's the thing. People go, well, Ben, you said Lean stay was your last prediction. You're absolutely right. I said LSU, like I switched to LSU. Y'all got mad, but why Lean stay? Here's the Lean stay. It was never about staying. I mean, about Ole Miss. It wasn't LSU or Ole Miss. It was LSU or staying because he couldn't get to do what he wanted to do. You see what I'm saying? That's part of the go. Like I thought he was. If it were seamless, if he could leave without looking like a jerk, he'd have done it in a heartbeat. But he couldn't, and the inevitable outcome arrived. But it's a completely different conversation, especially with the coach who, in the aftermath on that bloody Sunday, like the pettiness and the vindictiveness and the way he handled this was just poor across the board. While John Summerall was still at least promoting Tulane and his players, it was the Lane show. The only thing he would talk about publicly is they didn't give me an ultimatum. They didn't give me an ultimatum. It's all about the power dynamic. Like, walking around with two highway patrolmen that won't stop putting their hands on people. It's an inequitable power dynamic, and that's all Lane cared about. He cared about Lane, and this was about Ole Miss, and I think he's done a great job. All right, I want to get to some of these comments at TRYXPB. Any indications of Suntaran declaring for the NFL draft this year? I think it's more likely than not that he does, but this was a projected first rounder. That the last mock I saw from Pro Football Focus, he was in the 5th round. So for him, I think there's a better chance than there's ever been of Suntaran coming back, especially with Pete as head coach and what he could really turn him into next year. But I would venture to guess, because that was always the plan for him, that this is the offseason that he declares. But I wouldn't be surprised at all. And I think that the working assumption for Ole Miss is they're going to get him back.
Hey, so one thing I wanted to actually talk to you about, I think the last time we were on, was what's going on with the just the linebackers coach position. I know that was Chris Kiffin, but
no, it wasn't. It was Pete.
I thought Pete was secondary. Pete was doing linebackers?
No, Wes Neighbors coaches the safeties, and Brian Brown coaches the corners. I think that's the way it was. It might be the other way around. I'm pretty sure.
No, I think you're. No, those two guys.
Pete coached the linebackers. Right. Chris Kiffin was the assistant linebackers coach after being like an assistant defensive line coach. He just floated around.
So Pete's just gonna assume the responsibilities of the linebackers.
Well, he is for right now until this postseason run is over. But I could see that's where like the co-DC Ron Roberts or someone that they find if Ron goes to Arkansas. That's where. I'm reading the comments. FHS football DB44. I'm loving Pete as head coach so far. Loved your reactions on that conference call the other day, Ben. It's funny. I mean, the dude was funny. I mean, he goes, "I ain't doing no damn yoga. done with
and
all
playing
that shit. I was
pickleball.
like,
Yeah.
come on, man. Do you
No,
think
that
you got
was
a
the
shot at Dallas
ultimate.
Wilson?
Yeah, there were Pete Golding lacks juice allegations. Okay, after he was announced in the
Mm.
press conference room,
He
you had
dared to
national
not make it
people
about
like
himself, you know?
Dave Portnoy. You had other people that I know, Ole Miss people that are like, I thought Pete was lacking a little juice. And it took a few days. I of course knew, and I mean, you hear stories about him. You listen to guys that have played for him talk about juice. I work with Damian Harris when I'm in CBS, and Damian has spoken very highly on Pete Golding from his time at Bama and how much he was able to get the players going and everything. So I knew firsthand. I'm like, I know he's got the juice, but there were some Pete Golding lacks juice allegations, Ben. In that press conference,
Some lax juice allegations. I like that.
dude, he came out guns blazing, just total football guy, man. What I love is the pictures people keep finding. He's always got a little pen or pencil tucked away in his ear. That's a ball coach right there,
Oh,
Benny.
dude, it's
That's
funny
a
because I was
ball
talking.
coach.
I did Cole Kubelik and Greg McElroy's show this morning. And Greg was like, "Yeah, we were doing Cole was like in the production meeting. He's the first coach where I had to go. Hey, stop! Will you rewind that and say that again? I didn't understand." He's like, he was so deep off in the film study. And then
Yeah.
Greg was like, "Yeah, when he did the hit on ESPN, I was surprised he didn't have a dip in. You know what I mean? Like that's just full on ball coach, dude. I love that.
Did you see the picture of his office? It's like American flag in the back, like Ole Miss helmet, spitter, cup on
Spitter.
his desk. He like just everything about this guy just screams like perfect Ole Miss coach. Like if it works out, you don't have to
If
worry
it
about
works
him
out.
dipping. Obviously there's a lot of questions. Like we're not sitting here going, he's the next great
I
thing.
have no idea if it's going to work.
No clue. But he
No idea.
deserves to be here. He's paid his dues. He's worked for very good coaches, run really good defenses. If there are any Bama fans in the chat, don't appear to be, but if there are, they tell me how bad he is. But you go ask Nick Saban if you ever have a chance to talk to Nick Saban, or just read and talk, just see the way he talks about the guy.
Hey, he gave Lane Kiffin an historic defense in 2024, and he just
what I'm saying.
blew that. I mean, and I was talking to assistants yesterday because we're still working on the Ulysses Bentley interview. That's going to be hard to get, but I'm working, guys. I promise you. I'm trying.
We
to
got it. Yeah, we got to get. I
I'm
had
working
multiple
on
people
Duke.
asking me. Said, is
Working
Ben
on
bringing him
Duke.
on? I said, I don't know.
But I had an assistant tell me straight up yesterday. He was like, just he was excited about some things, and one of the things he mentioned was like, and we won't be going into Florida with the USM wide receiver, but just because the head coach is pissed at the running back for blah 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 blah, had nothing to do with what he said in his office to me about Duke. You know what I mean? About how
Yeah.
have you seen he's slow now? This that it was petty and vindictive nonsense. Just like when they lost to Kentucky that year, and he's in the tunnel worried about a bad breakup. I mean, he was worried about everything
Well,
else. It was always
we
about
can
Lane.
say it now, Ben. I had texted you that week you met with him. I texted you a bunch of rumors, me being from Oxford, that I'd heard, small town, obviously word gets around. And I texted, I said, Ben, I'm hearing some crazy rumors from people that they're not sources, but these are like Oxonians, like established people in the town. And I was like, is there any way for us to look into it? It's messy. It's weird. I don't know how you can bring it up. And you just straight up showed Lane the text. You just said, look, this is what people are saying. You got to do something. You can't just say he's not playing because he's not good. People aren't buying it. And what did he just said, oh, God. And then that was it.
Oh, God. Okay. And that was it. It's like, I mean.
But he played Bentley that week. And you and I get some of the credit for that, in my opinion. I think you've shown him.
Because
I think you've shown him those texts did something.
Lately, dude, he knew about what I said on that podcast, that ludicrous line. He knew about it Tuesday. Hitting up his body man on Tuesday saying, can you believe this? Of course, his body man, he's been one of my friends for 15 years. He's like, dude, you know what he's saying, right? No. You know what I mean? Like, he's more worried about that stuff than he is, beating Kentucky, getting upset, going 9-3 with the best Ole Miss roster ever.
Yeah.
It's superficial nonsense. Of course, like, do I believe that us talking crap about this and keeping it a thing about Ulysses Bentley was the reason why he played? Absolutely. You cannot convince me. That's what this man does.
I had a friend text me because I told him about what happened. He texted me.
Regina George. His name is Regina George.
No, dude, I had people text me that week saying, hey, thank you to you and Ben, because if Ben doesn't show him those texts, we don't think Bentley's playing.
He's like, oh, shit, I got to get out in front of this a little bit.
People know. People may know. Someone had asked about tight ends up there. Sorry, I forgot who it was. You said, do we have a shot of – hold on, where'd it go? Someone asked about tight ends. Like, who's going to be a tight end coach? Do we have any, like, candidates right now. I mean, JDB's got a big tight end background, right? Like that was part of what he did when he was at Ole Miss.
Yeah, he was the Ole Miss's passing game coordinator and tight ends coach. He's going to be the offensive coordinator here, and maybe he coaches tight ends too. But tight ends can be a position for whoever. That's what I was kind of getting at earlier. I said it clunkily. I still don't know if that's a word, but like Frank Wilson can be associate head coach, tight ends coach if they're able to keep Kevin Smith. Kevin Smith, they're not keeping. He's going to LSU.
Yeah,
But if it's just about getting the best possible coach on staff to check a lot of different boxes.
sure.
That can mean be the tight ends coach as part of your obligations as associate head coach or co-OC or that passing game coordinator. The guys we mentioned, Frank Wilson, Derek Nix, it's not just about, the position coaches. I mean, the positions they usually coach, what you usually associate them with. Well, you say Frank Wilson's a running backs coach. He can be whatever coach. He can do whatever he needs to do. Ole Miss would take him in any number of capacities. And honestly, if he says, I'd rather be that job because I want to have an elevated title so I can handle this, so I can get back to this. I mean, that's all a part of negotiation. So that's a long
Yeah,
way of saying the guys we've mentioned are the guys we know Ole Miss has talked to, like Ron Roberts. Yeah, obviously, we think he'd be a great co-DC to go with Ryan Brown if he's not the DC at Arkansas by the time we get done recording this. But for him, like that's where your linebackers coach comes from. You know what I
yeah,
mean? That's
yeah,
right now it's Pete. Pete's coaching the linebackers. He's been coaching them for a year. He ain't trying to change that. They only got
yeah,
3 more games left, man. He wants to keep this as uniform as possible for
yeah,
this team because and that's the duality of what's really the challenge for him. That's what really sucks for him is because it's like, dude, he just wanted to coach. Like this team is 3 wins away from a title.
yeah.
And he's got to also have 2026 considerations, signing day consideration, transfer portal. 6 months packed into 3 weeks when dead gummit, man. There's plenty of time in the spring for all this. Fortunately, he made his biggest hire today with John David Baker, and I think it's the one that makes the most sense on paper.
No doubt. And I think honestly, man, like that's the
We're
other
getting
thing
hit
with
up
Pete.
in the chat, by the way. We got to start answering these people.
We do. But the one note on Pete I'll say is like, yeah, you could have come in and made everything your own. Try to put all of your imprint on this
Yeah.
playoff team, whatever. But see, that's the thing about him. It doesn't give off ego whatsoever. I mean, from his very first meeting with the team where he said, it don't matter if it's me leading you out or Kiff or the chancellor, we're not changing anything. Like you guys did all the work. This is your team. We're just here to coach you through it, right? And that's what I love about him, man. Just like his ability to just know, like, it's not broken. I don't need to do anything crazy. Just keep it rolling. I really love that about him. And hope, like, once again, we don't know how that translates on the field, but as far as running an organization, caring for your players loving you back, and the things you're saying, he's checking all the boxes right now. Back to the comments. Let's see.
Because it's true. Like, Ole Miss could end up running a poor variation of the program that it's been for 6 years because Lane Kiffin meant that much. You know what I mean?
100%.
But Ole Miss doesn't believe that. Organizationally, Ole Miss believes, especially from the recruiting piece, that Lane really was not. If anything, he was a detriment in certain recruiting things. Great in the final Twitter picture thing to say, "Hey, I met the man, the myth, the legend," but putting in the work. He didn't do that. Offensive lineman Mario Nash just hit the portal, according to Ovo Bell. Do you think Ole Miss is the favorite? Favorite? I don't know, but that's one to keep an eye on. I'll just put it very, very clearly. Out of time, 901. Will Lacey go with Kevin Smith? Ole Miss has the right. I mean, every kid is year to year now. I would say it's absolutely something that will be a consideration. I know that Kevin Smith being back in the building and having those months to be like, hey, you look good in purple and gold. That's a legitimate. I think that's more than legitimate for Ole Miss fans to bring up. But Pete Golding believes that having these guys back for the run is in the best interest for Ole Miss and winning a title this year. So I respect that. Until it proves wrong, then you get the criticism. That's part of being in the big chair. But could he go? Absolutely. Ole Miss has the rights of first refusal in renegotiation, though. And ultimately, it doesn't come down to, my position coach has gone somewhere else. These days, it's what are you willing to pay? I'd be more worried about how much Ole Miss or LSU is allocating to potentially poach Keywan from Ole Miss than him following Kevin Smith in some way.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Someone asked about Dallas Wilson from Florida, Ole Miss having a shot at him. I don't know. That's more of a Ben question, but if Buster Faulkner's coming in, if I'm Dallas Wilson, I'm not leaving. I don't know. What do you think?
That's
the freshman
I think John,
kid.
I know. I know that
No,
one.
I was just making sure because
But I appreciate it because, like, Sudu knows sometimes has to help your boy out because, like, I'm not.
there's just one time we were talking
man.
about something, Ben, and you text me, said, dude, I just made it. I don't know what we were talking. I said, it's all right, bro.
I did the best I could with what I had, which wasn't much, you know what I mean? But like I could sell water. I mean, I can sell water to a fish if I needed to. That's
Yeah,
that
you
Stan
fooled me,
Androni.
and everything you said was like legit too. Like you hit it, dude. You hit every single point, and then you're like, I was just figuring it out as we went. I'm like, well, yeah, you got it figured out, dude.
M Harris 73, Ben. What a year it's been for you. Turned out awesome. God has got you. Yes, He does. He's good all the time. Keep honoring Him. I love the snippet of your testimony. Thank you. Yeah, I gave my testimony at church on Sunday night and put a little bit. I just wanted to everybody see the little da-doom-sh, that my guy Pip did for the joke I made about the viral moment. You've been an inspiration. Love you, brother. Love you too, man. Hotty toddy. That's awesome. That's the good stuff. But there was one more too. I love that stuff. Pete is a good recruiter in Louisiana. Took a lot of players from LSU. Absolutely right. I thought Weiss was going to stay. He is staying for the. Whoa. You're talking about reporting? You haven't been reading the Ole Miss Spirit. I reported on last night. He is overwhelmingly likely to leave for LSU. The contract that he signed at the end of the year. I'm just telling you, Ole Miss believed it could get him in the building and keep him around. I put John David Baker last night as the favorite, but we don't let facts get in the way sometimes, do we? I can't remember. Being with Jonathan Coachman was fantastic. Thank you, James McDonald. You're awesome.
That was fire, by the way. That
Dallas
was so
Wilson. I was trying to remember what we were going to before we got off track. Dallas Wilson.
Dallas
I think
Wilson.
sticks around at Florida. I think Sumrall and Buster Faulkner keep him around. But if he does get in, Ole Miss.
You got it, man.
Ole Miss would be. No, I know they would go after him. I think Ole Miss. The question is, would they really be? Would they be a favorite? And I would say yes. Yes.
Let's go.
Kiffin just tweeted about JDB. Can he just move on?
I don't even follow him anymore. Let me go see what he's saying.
Just move on. We just need to prepare well and beat Tulane. Dang right.
Great hire, fire. Yeah. Thanks, Lane.
Okay, thanks.
Appreciate that.
Move along. That's the thing. It's eating him up that he's not getting the credit he thinks he deserves for this.
And like your boy Bunky said, man, shut up. You don't even go here anymore.
You don't even go here. It's like that's like that from Mean Girls since he's Regina George. Like she doesn't even go here. Like it's that. Come on, bro. You made that choice. You made that choice. Like you could have waited 2 years from now whenever LSU fires somebody else. But like, dad, gone, bro. Like, stop being a child. Stop being a child.
It's not gonna go away. He will be that way until he leaves the earth at some point. And it's like
I think he's a great. Like I really like Lane Kiffin because
he's
I
hilarious.
Him.
When he's not trolling you, it's hilarious, and I
understand the man
offensive mind.
But like once you, the reason I understand him is thank God that he gave me Gracie Garrett, a 13-year-old girl. I'm like, because now I'm like, oh, I know how to deal with that. The emotional, the crazy mood swings. Wait a second, Daddy, you wouldn't believe what so and so said. And I'm like, well, what did you say back? I want to say to Lane, it's like, hold on, no one called you that, but I did say this. You know what I mean?
That's
hilarious. What a guy. I hope he has success at LSU or finds what he's chasing, but I'm so tired of talking about him.
Did you see?
Hell, he won't stop.
On that note, just kind of switch it up a little bit. This is kind of a big deal today. I saw Ross Dellinger report. Did you see Utah is finally partnering with a what do they call it? A private equity firm? Did you see this?
No.
So this is the tweet from Ross Dellinger. It's from earlier today, a couple hours ago. In a groundbreaking endeavor, the University of Utah Athletics is entering into what could be a $500 million plus equity partnership with Atro Capital, featuring the creation, shared ownership of a for-profit entity to operate athletics. Ben, we're there. We just bring out the contracts. It's like their employees. It's like if you're partnering with a private equity firm, which the Big Ten has been trying to do for a while and gotten a lot of pushback, but I guess Utah's just going for what are they? What conference is Utah in? These I don't even remember. Is it Mountain West? Like what are they in? Big 12.
When you put me on the block on the.
I think it's Big 12, right? Dude, there's been so much movement. Yeah, it's the Big 12. There's been so much movement. I don't even remember anymore. But I mean, dude, at this point,
you do that to me. I hate when you do that to me. I hate it.
But dude, I mean, this is it. A private equity is entering. I mean, this is what you talk. You talk about the spirit of the thing. This is the thing that gets rid of that.
Yep.
Now you got this outside firm that's in charge of your athletics program. It can dictate the uniforms you wear, the traditions that are. I mean, like it's. I'm not a fan of it. But if this is, I feel like the floodgates are going to open if Utah's doing it. Other programs are going to want to keep their Olympic sports or pay for football or basketball. If one school does it, I could 100% see this becoming a bigger thing, considering the Big Ten was pushing this for weeks. But, I mean, at this point, bro, just bring out the contracts. Like, it's time. It's time to just call them employees. Because what are we doing?
Well, the thing is that would require adults in the room to do so.
Wow.
And the adults in the room are just, yeah. That's crazy, man. I don't know. Like Dan Mullen wasn't wrong when he said recently, like, how do you fix all this?
Yeah.
Strip it down to the studs, start over, start
Mm-hmm.
over. Unfortunately, that's never going to happen. So I don't know if it's ever going to implode, but I don't know how you get any regulation into this thing.
Also, like
I don't.
nonprofit status is a question here too, because
That's tax. That's because those are tax
yeah,
questions, man.
yeah. I mean, that's a public university. It's a nonprofit organization, right? But if you're bringing in a private equity firm to turn you into like a professionally run organization with outside money,
Just call it what it is. That is nuts.
yeah,
And for like the players, they need to be able to collectively bargain
yep,
to ensure that another situation like this doesn't happen to another school, where Lane Kiffin leaves a playoff team to go join an SEC rival or go join another team. Period. Um, those like in the NFL, it's after the season. Once that coach's season comes to an end, or like if they have a bye week. So Ole Miss would have been all you could interview them during the bye week, but you can't hire them. And also, if you try to hire them away, there's draft pick compensation. There's you have to get permission from the school to interview that coach. There's none of that. There are no guardrails like that in football, in college football.
yeah.
So it's not just about the players; it's about the entire calendar. But how do you fix it? Strip it to the studs, and no one's going to do so. So I don't know. I don't like that. Like if you put a commissioner in charge, it's not like that's going to change anything.
No,
That's
this
not
was
going to
the
change the calendar.
NCAA absolutely being the upset child, throwing a tantrum and just opening the floodgates without any enforcement because they were upset that players were finally going to get paid. And instead of establishing rules early on, we've talked about it on the pod,
They just
they just
said,
said, all right,
"To hell
this is
with it.
what you want. Here
Yep,
you go."
to
And
hell
gave
with
it
it.
the
Do what you
worst
want to do."
possible foundation with really no foundation. Just, all right, free for all. This is what y'all wanted. It was just like the most petty move ever, and that's what it's gotten us to. And now, I mean, there's legitimate questions about this private equity firm because what if they don't like the profits that they're receiving? I mean, can they shut down entire programs? Could they just say, we don't want to operate Utah Athletics anymore? We don't want to
Like
give you our money. Like,
when you deal,
there's a
because when
lot
you
of
deal with
questions.
big, yeah, you're right. Because when you deal with big businessmen, like you have to answer the shareholders. Who are the shareholders, and what are their demands? You know, when they say, "Well, we put into this," you know what I mean? Like they're
Yeah.
just, it's a friggin' mess, man. All right, some of these questions. What if Jeremiah Smith gets into the portal after the season because Brian Hartline got a coaching job? He's going pro.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Isn't
It,
he? He's a
can he?
sophomore or
I think
junior?
he's a sophomore, dude.
Well,
I he's got
he
to
ain't
come
getting into the
back.
portal. If he did get into the portal, man, I just don't see how Ole Miss could spend $4 million on one single wide receiver.
Nah. I,
Maybe, like he ain't getting into the portal.
I don't think he'd leave because Sand's coming back, and obviously, that they're gonna just reload.
Yeah, Dano Kerman 556. There seems to be a lot of subtweeting and posting about prescoring from the new staff. Have you heard anything about potentially coming on as an analyst? A little bit. I'm going to reach out to Caden specifically today because I've heard a little bit, but nothing I'm taking too terribly serious right now. But that doesn't really mean anything. I'm just a dude who talks to people. Ben, we appreciate you standing up for Ole Miss and Lane and speaking for the fan base and how we feel and asking the tough questions. Seems now we have a coach that loves Ole Miss, unlike Lane. Thank you for that, man. That was very kind of you. I think I've got my tickets to the playoff game. Ben, will you sign my ho shirt? Yes, of course I will. Yes, I plan to go live from the Grove for the playoff game. So like, I
What
don't know which
time?
tent I'll be in. I think I'm gonna talk to my friend Melissa. She's got a great tent, very popular tent. My guy Drew, I know he'll hook me up. Brandon Mason, who does Grove tent setup stuff. He's offered too. But yeah, I think I'll be there. Y'all just come find me. All right, y'all just come find me. Ovo Bell 2 times. Keith stated that the surprise hire would be able to coach in the college football playoff games. Does that mean JDB can coach? He can. I just don't know what that'll look like. We talked to Pete
Because
again
he's
on
in
Thursday.
Oxford, right? He's
Yeah,
already there.
He's in
Yeah.
Oxford right now. And we talked to Pete again on Thursday. So I plan to find out before that.
Yeah.
I hope to find out like today. But I don't know what that's going to look like yet structurally, organizationally. But I mean, that's the thing. JDB, oh, yeah, Charlie's calling the place. Shoot, I'd be like, Charlie can leave. JoJo's got quarterbacks. JDB, you take. But I get what I get
No.
what
Yeah.
Pete's doing. But like
He
JDB
wants
could
the
coach tight ends. He could coach if he needed to, and if he could coach right now because he's in town. So yeah, he could. That's a possibility for sure.
I haven't seen it in the comments today, But I have had a lot of people ask me about Dante and his potential promotion to receivers coach. What are you
I
hearing
haven't
on
heard that
Dante?
at all, and that
Yeah.
might be just because I'm missing something.
Yeah. No, I mean, I haven't heard it from anyone officially. It's just people Ole Miss fans are texting me like, "Hey, dude, have you heard anything about Dante being a receivers coach?" No, I haven't. I
I
don't know,
haven't.
but it'd be cool. I mean, just having him on the staff is already a huge deal
Yeah, he's
because of
he's
what he
he's
can do on the recruiting trail too.
100%. And I saw
Um,
how because y'all got to understand something. Like Dante is new to this game. All right, he's just getting his feet and the work he put
he's so good.
in those days leading up to signing day.
Yeah.
And I mean, he deserves so much credit. That'd be like seriously. I don't know what it'd be like a true freshman quarterback in the second quarter of the first game. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Getting thrust in there and man, he delivered. He performed, and he deserves a ton of credit for that. R. Hamrick, 1817. Wouldn't JDB want to bring his own staff with him? Possibly a few guys, sure. But usually with coordinators, you get about one or two. One or two. I mean, Pete Golding will tell you if you can bring some assistants with you or not. Why is nobody in the media talking about how Golding flipped several LSU commitments? I am. And here's something I wanted to bring up. Thank you so much for that, Cooper Banks, 9263. Keep an eye on Ole Miss in the portal for LSU transfer cornerback Ashton Stamps, as well as LSU defensive lineman transfer Ahmad Bro. Deshaun Womack, who started slow this year, has really come on lately. Pete has a reputation, not just in Louisiana, but of poaching transfers from that school specifically. Those are two guys I'm absolutely keeping an eye on. Um, and there was one more. I've heard a little bit about Arizona State starting offensive tackle Josh Atkins. He's made 39 consecutive starts at left tackle, was named a 2025 team captain for Arizona State and Kenny Dillingham. The thing is, he's going to be one of the most expensive guys in the portal. So it just depends on if the money can match up. Louisiana Tech standout defensive back Michael Richard is one I'm going to keep an eye on. 104 total tackles, 11 PBUs, 3 interceptions. Those Louisiana connections that someone mentioned in the chat with Pete Golding are very, very real. And now that he has full control over who they take and who they don't, oh, Betsky. You know what I mean? They're about to go as far as they need to go on certain things. But yeah, it's going to be fascinating to see how they attack that. It's just nice that right now they can focus on the football aspect of it, right?
Yeah.
Oh, Deputy Reb Sudu, do you believe Lane would have taken the Florida job if LSU had not come open? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That sounds like that just was Scott Strickland. From everything I put together, Scott Strickland hates Lane. Like it's a
And
well-known
Lane
thing.
hates Scott Strickland.
And it just was like Scott Strickland was being so difficult. Now you know damn well you can't put a leash on Lane Kiffin. You have to. We hire an NFL GM. He reports to us, not to you. There's no way in hell Lane was ever going to play ball with that. And then they were like, "Oh, he was erratic with his communication." Yeah, you're trying to put a leash on the guy. You can't. You just got to let him be Lane. I mean, there was no way he was not going to bring Glasscock with him wherever
Oh,
he
like
went.
that's his dude.
That's his guy.
And he's the one that's really been like Glasscock's done a hell of a job. He almost picked apart a couple of guys on staff that ended up re-upping with Ole Miss because Glasscock's trying to take the house down too now. Don't get it twisted.
No doubt.
That's his guy, and he and Lane have been working overtime. And people go, well, it shows that Pete doesn't know many people outside of his. That's not true. He's just hiring people. Of course, you hire people you're familiar with, and you understand they have, and they really coincide with who you are and what you think and what you do philosophically. But all Lane's been doing since he got the LSU job, tried to take all Ole Miss's commitments, basically told all the LSU staff, I don't care about the boards you've been building for a year and a half. They signed some of those guys, but Lane was focused on Corey Barber and J.C. Anderson. He tried to get Carmelo Reed. He tried to get Landon Barnes. He upped the price on all of those kids, right? Then after that, he tried to steal as many staff members as possible. And it wasn't just the offensive guys. The defensive staff showed a sign of solidarity, right? But he came after all of them hard and made it really hard for them to say no too. So if you're going to levy that criticism against Pete, then you can do the same thing for Lane. I think it speaks more to coaches go with familiarity first, scheme and philosophy and the alignment there as well. And then second, it's about the rest of it. Like for them, I think JDB is a great hire for Pete and exactly kind of what he needs to keep things stabilized. If Trinidad doesn't get a waiver, do you think we'll take Hauser from ECU? I think they could take him regardless. That's a good. I haven't thought about that yet, Doug Miller. I hadn't heard that. JDB's still very fresh, but dang,
They also have a tight
that's
end.
That's a really good question. I'm gonna look that up, Doug. Thank you.
Who's the kid that left Ole Miss with JDB? Is the tight end? He had a hell of a year this year.
Oh, the tight. Oh, dude.
You know what I'm
Oh
talking
gosh, I
about?
want to try to remember off the top of the dome.
Shoot, I thought I saw his name earlier on the timeline, but yeah, I mean, he had a really good season, and that's another guy you think about adding another tight end there.
Well, because you're losing Daquan, and you
Daquan's
might
leaving,
lose
yeah.
Lucas again.
There was someone said we need to attack linebackers and DBs in the portal. Listen, I have a not a theory, it's just an opinion that I have that I believe to be true. Ole Miss spent a lot on receivers a year ago, where you could have you could have not had one receiver or a tight
Javante
end.
Connor.
Javante Connor, yes, that could be huge. So I do agree with you there. Who is this? Who said this? FHS football, 100% agree. I think if Ole Miss would have spent money on a safety and would have spent money on an edge over two receivers or a tight end or a receiver pick, I think this team would be way better off on defense, strictly with a ball hawking safety and an edge rusher added to what we already have. I just felt like Lane always loved to stockpile the offensive weapons, which is awesome because the offense is great. But no offense to Harrison Wallace, you just pick a guy. Like, you have enough talent, you have enough pass catchers where you didn't really need one of them. You know what I mean?
Prince Willie Monmielen was supposed to be that. Deshaun Womack was supposed to be that. Suntaran Perkins, I don't think they anticipated a double-digit sack guy not getting to the quarterback for double-digit sacks
Yeah,
this
but
year.
dude, with what you lost, like
Sure,
there should have
sure.
been money spent on more of a surefire guy as an edge rusher. The safety thing you just needed somebody there that could move around and play a bunch of different positions and really help that secondary out. And I still maintain if you just don't spend money on one receiver, you still have a lot of good targets for your quarterback, but you spend that money for a DB. I've been talking about it all season. Ole Miss was one really good ball hawking safety and edge rusher away from probably beating Georgia.
See, and I think that safety they've been fine. Wyatt Williams has been an all-league caliber player. I would say Kapina Gushkin has done exactly as you designed
No,
him
but
to.
you want a guy that can
Right.
make up for deficiencies. You know, that
What
can
you need it. But see,
fly
I would argue
around
that
and
it's.
help.
I would just argue that's not the safety. I would argue that. Oh shoot! Just dropped my ring. I would argue that it's the that it's losing Trey Amos and Antonio Kite has been really good. I would have gone for the best. I would. There's no finding another Trey Amos necessarily, right?
No,
But like,
that's what I mean. That's why I just want
yeah.
somebody up top that can provide support for what we've seen.
I lost
Which
the house and the ring. You keep going.
what are you doing, man? Um, let's see. If Trinidad doesn't get a waiver, I hope Austin Simmons gets his chance. Yeah, no, it'd be awesome if for Austin. That'd be a great story. He's familiar with the offense.
I think
obviously.
that would be a realistic thing that could happen too.
Yeah. Wish there was a Caleb Downs type in the portal. Oh man, yeah, you and me both.
You and me
brother.
both, brother.
You and me both, dude. What are
You
the
and me
chances
both.
Weiss actually stays in Oxford? No, he's gone. He's going to LSU after the playoff. They just hired a OC. There's no way he stays.
JDB, yeah.
Which I'm excited about JDB. Like Charlie Weiss, cool. I mean, we'll see what it like if he ever leaves Kiffin, it'd be interesting to see how he does without Kiffin.
I just can't believe he hasn't wanted to get. If somebody put it like an Ole Miss assistant put it to me, it's like Kirby Smart after a game was approached by ESPN. Can't remember who they were playing or whatever, but like the defense had a good second half. They responded. They hadn't been able to stop whoever they were playing that much in the first half. And ESPN was like, "Your defense, and what did you do?" And immediately Kirby said, "First of all, stop. This is not my defense. This is Greg Schulman's
This is
defense."
Glenn Schumann's defense.
Glenn
Yeah,
Schumann.
yeah.
Jeez, I totally butchered that. This
Trey
is Glenn.
Scott, Glenn Schumann. Yeah.
Yeah, Glenn Schumann's defense, and he listed off every single defensive assistant before say like it's their defense, and they do tremendous work. Meanwhile, when all this craziness with Lane and LSU was going down, and there was something brought up about Charlie Weiss, and he was getting some shine for like an award or something. Just he had a great year. Chris Lowe, who I adore, who I think is the best, but Lane, Chris is Lane's guy.
Is he still though? Because the stuff Chris has been putting out recently, I'm like, did Lane piss him off?
I think Chris. Chris is a very good human being, and I think that Lane Kiffin will take advantage of anyone if he's able. Anyway, so when all this Charlie Weiss stuff came back, it wasn't Lane getting on there. Like he didn't talk about the Heisman with Trinidad Chambliss and Keywan Lacey, Doak Walker Award. He didn't let an opportunity fly by without saying, "Well, it's really my offense." I find it really hard to believe that Charlie Weiss, and I don't understand it, would not think that what would be best for him would be a standalone offensive coordinator out of Lane Kiffin's shadow, because otherwise he's always going to be thought of as Lane's little sidekick rather than being his own standalone man. And that was conversations that a lot of Ole Miss assistants had with Charlie within the last couple of days in that building. Now that JDB is done, though, you made your decision.
Yeah.
Do a good job calling plays in the playoffs, because if you don't, that's even more stink that you're going to wear when you
No
go to
doubt.
LSU.
No
Not only
doubt.
will you be Lane Kiffin's little sidekick that you can't do anything without him, and I know Charlie's a great human being, but stiff upper lip, friend. You know,
Yeah.
have a little bit more of a spine about this. If you want that USF job that you thought you deserved, everyone thinks that you can't operate outside of Lane Kiffin. And when you did, it wasn't very good. And this
Yep.
was an opportunity, and you gave it up. But now it's the JDB show. So moving on, South Carolina wanted John David Baker. Then they went with Kendall Briles, bringing Kendall Briles back around here. Virginia Tech had interest in him. A lot of schools had interest in him. Here's something crazy. Jake Schoonover could have gone to Missouri, could have gone to LSU, and he re-upped with Ole Miss. What does that say about Pete Golding?
They
John
love him.
Garrison could have gone to LSU, gotten an elevated title too. Maybe we gotten definitely he was getting a pay raise, and he had to tell Lane, "No, I'm good. I want to be here with Pete Golding at Ole Miss." What does that say then? These are
Yeah.
decorated coaches, accomplished coaches, and now it's just about go win the whole damn thing. And if you don't, Charlie Weiss, Dane Stevens, Kevin Smith, George McDonald, Joe Cox. If you don't, and you've been in that building, good luck getting that stink off of you the rest of your career.
Yeah.
Now,
Hey, you mentioned
or like if you get upset by Tulane, not even the title. If you get
yeah.
upset by, like, at least beat Tulane now. Georgia, hell, that's a toss up regardless if Lane Kiffin's on the sideline anyway. But
Yeah.
they should beat Tulane. And if they don't, people are going to try to say, well, it's the interim coach. Pete's not as good as Lane, or this, that, and the other. I would argue it's just the last middle finger from a petty, vindictive person in Lane Kiffin, the Regina George of college football.
Yeah.
Guys,
Hey,
see allowed that to
you
happen.
told me not to keep you here over an hour. I do want to talk, just get your thoughts on the bracket, the way everything played out. We haven't spoken since it dropped. Obviously, Ole Miss at 6 is exactly what you expected. I mean, they probably should have been 5, but that's fine. If Lane stays, maybe they are. But 6-11, you get the Tulane pick. But obviously, the bigger thing is you obviously hate the automatic qualifier
Hate 'em.
thing. I agree with you. I also think, first of all, expand to 16. That's as far as you go. And dude, I'm fully on board. I wasn't maybe in years past. I am now fully on board with the group of 5 kind of being their own level, having their own playoff. I think it just would make it so much more exciting for these teams and actually give them, like, the way it's set up right now. Like, yeah, JMU and Tulane get in, but dude, they're like, JMU's cooked against Oregon. Tulane, yeah, maybe they score, maybe they have a better game than before, but like, come on, man, these teams deserve to like win a trophy as well. And in this current format, especially if it expands, I just don't see how a group of 5 team ever wins a national title going up against the Georgias and the Bamas and the Ole Misses and the Miamis of the world. I was always in favor of inclusion just because I grew up watching Boise State get screwed over by the BCS system. And I used to always be like, God, it'd be really cool to see Boise State play for that title game. So I grew up wanting to give opportunities to these programs. But because of the landscape changing so much even since then, like Boise State could keep up with the Oklahomas back in the day, a little bit more than now, right? But now you got so much money being infused, and unless you do what Utah's doing with a private equity firm or something, if you're a JMU or a Tulane, like you can't sustain that kind of NIL to just go toe to toe with the Indianas and the Ohio States and Georgias. It's just just give them their own playoff thing, man. Like that would just make it so much more fun. I would 100% watch. I mean, we're all college football sickos. Like we love it. I watch Pac-12. I used to watch Pac-12 after dark every night. I didn't care. 2 in the morning, I'm watching that stuff. Washington State getting boat race 52-3 by Oregon. Like people are gonna watch this Group of 5 playoff if they have it. The other part is it's gonna give a lot more media companies rights to college football broadcasting, which they're gonna jump all over. I don't know, Ben. It just makes a lot more sense, especially after this year. Now, I, of course, did not think Notre Dame should have been in the playoffs. I was saying it all year. You kept being like, they're going to get in, which I didn't
I
doubt you.
cannot believe. Well, but they got Notre
They
Dame.
got it right. They did the right
From
thing.
now on, but this is the most Notre Dame thing ever. And this is what I said. It's because it's Notre Dame. And yeah, they got left out. But guess what they get now? From now on, if we're ranked in the top 12, we have to be in the playoff. That's in writing now. No one else in football, no other school is going to get that consideration. If they're in the top 12, regardless of other results, Notre Dame is automatically in the playoff. That is absurd. The answer is not to give the G5 their own playoffs. The answer is not to expand it to 16. The answer is to first get rid of automatic qualifiers and go back to the very basic BCS formula for ranking teams and pick the 12 best teams based on a uniform criteria, strength of schedule, I don't think the coaches poll is worth taking into account, but certainly
They
Associated
should
Press
just
top
get rid of the
25.
coaches poll. I don't even know why it exists anymore.
I mean, but you consider all the rankings. You could even factor in analytics and Pro Football Focus performance if you want to. If you want to do any type of next gen stats, like predictive performance and stuff. Okay, make it uniform and play and put the best 12 teams in. And if you did that this year, would Tulane and James Madison have been left out? Probably, but they had an opportunity to win their conference. And at G5, Tulane beat the ACC champ this year, Jackson Carter. Okay, like those are good considerations, and that would go into your strength of schedule as part of that. That stuff would be weighed, not old men in suits picking the 12 best teams
Yeah.
and then giving a cushy like we're sorry contract to Notre Dame to ensure that they're in the playoff no matter what if they're top 12. That's what it's not fair. It's not equitable. Quit with this dumb nonsense. 12 best teams, 12 team playoff. I mean, who wants to see right now? Like Miami shouldn't even be in this thing, honestly. You know what I mean? If we're just going based off of rankings, then Notre Dame would have probably gotten in.
I was going to say, I think Miami probably, if you're going off that BCS computer,
Yeah,
probably would have been left out. I could see like a team with a better strength of schedule getting it. And that's my whole thing, bro. I did not like the BCS system because the BCS system said these two teams are playing for the national title.
That's right.
And it would leave people out. But now that you have a
12.
playoff system, 12, 16, whatever it goes to, 16 would be really cool. I think anything more than that would be too much, but 16 to me is fine because then you get these play-in games and you could have all these games on campus and still keep those bowl tie-ins once you get into the quarters and semis. But I 100% now in 2025, after seeing how everything played out, I'm like, BCS computer plus playoff model, it's the perfect marriage. It's actually what college football needs.
It's very simple, man. Give it back to the computers now that you got the number right.
Exactly.
Now that you don't say, well, what? Because Auburn should have been competing for a title when they finished number 3, and they still claim a title that they didn't win.
Yeah.
They absolutely should have been in the playoff. First, the argument was no one else, no other major sport in the world, let alone the United States, does their postseason like this, and that was true. Well, now you're closer to the right number because these old stuffy men in suits have realized that, we can't make all the decision and line our pockets unto ourselves. So you give the peons just a little taste. You know what I mean? Get rid of all the control that they've ever had. No committees. It's the computer. And if you want the commissioner of football to be the person that runs that, first, he can't be a CAA client. But two, because Nick Saban, I'd love Nick Saban as commissioner if he wasn't a CAA client after seeing his about face with all this stuff the last 2 weeks. But like if the commissioner and like the assistant commissioner and the treasurer and whoever else that they have in the system, if they're the group that reads the stats, that reads the BCS formula that has to be explained, show you what the criteria is. And then if you want to argue about the criteria, we can change the criteria. But we're not talking about, well, I think they deserve to be in over them. I don't give a shit what John Jacob Jingleheimer Smith thinks about who should be and who shouldn't. It should be basic and fair.
Wasn't it like at one point it was like Condoleezza Rice, bro? It's like Condoleezza Rice, like, I guess accomplished politician, but why is she picking college football playoff teams?
If
like
we're going to do that, then just bring Kanye in. That'd be awesome. Like, I'd love to see Kanye pick teams. I mean, Kanye would actually make it like some chaos in the thing. You know what I mean? Make Kanye the commissioner. If we're going to go by just chaos, bring Tom Green back. You know what I mean? Let Tom Green just get in there and do his thing. My bum is on your lips. Let him do that. Let him pick it because it's just as stupid. Make it about the computer. Make it about the strength of schedule. Who you played, who you beaten, neutral site, away games. Ole Miss beat LSU this year, and when they beat them, they were number 9 in the country. Well, the LSU sucked. Maybe that should be weighed in the computer after the season is over, but at the time, there's real weight to beating the number 9 team in the country and sending them to unranked territory. You get what I'm getting at? Like, I don't care about other people's considerations. Yeah. I don't care.
It's true. There should not be human like, it's just, you're right. In a world where we have computers and algorithms and you can just put a criteria in and say, this is it, unbiased, pick the teams, it'll pick the team. Because if you go back and look at those BCS rankings, 1 through 12, not a lot of people would disagree with the way that the teams were ranked at the end of the year on the AP poll or whatever, the BCS rankings or however. I forget how that used to work. But I think if you saw the poll, you may go, damn, wish Boise would have had a shot for the Natty. But, hey, they finished, 4th or whatever. I think people would have agreed. So I agree, man. It's not that difficult. But of course, you'd be taking power away, Ben. That's
Yeah.
what you'd be doing. If you give it to the computer, then you're taking power away
Yep.
from all the stuffy men in suits you talk about. And obviously, you can't do that. So no, it's truly insane. But I think that's where we disagree. I just think the group of I think it's fair. It's more fair to the group of five to let them have their own like an FCS kind of like thing where, because dude, there's no other like you're just playing to play. You're just playing like, oh, we're just here to play football. Like for what? Because bowls don't really matter. You see how many teams have turned down bowl games this year? Like bowls don't matter anymore.
Hey, you think those stuffy old men in suits aren't freaking out now? Oh,
Yeah.
they're not giving us our court, like suckling at the corporate teat.
Yeah.
Oh wow, like bowl games are headed the way of the dinosaur, friends, as it should have been the whole time. Bowls are stupid. They're exhibition games that allows corporations to fillet themselves for
I got a solution.
3 hours.
I got a solution, Ben. Some of them are going to have to go away. It's just going to have to happen. But here's another solution. So if you expand to 16, all of those games can still be bowl games. The way they do the semifinal is the Fiesta Bowl, and the quarterfinal is whatever.
But the Duke's Mayo Bowl, no disrespect to Mississippi State, that those games are going the way of the dinosaur.
Right. But you could, you know what you could do? You could say Duke's Mayo. It's a home game in Starkville. If let's say it's a playoff game, it's in Starkville, but you can call it the Duke's Mayo Bowl. Take over. Bring your own SID
I've been saying this for 2 years, man.
Yeah. You could still have the advertising and call it the Duke's Mayo Bowl. It would just be at Davis Wade Stadium or for Ole Miss, whatever bowl. And what's another one? They've changed.
The Cheez-It Bowl.
The Bad Boy whatever.
Man, I used to love the idea. It's like I always wanted to go to the friggin' Outback Bowl, and then it's like you see their dancing mascot of a bloomin' onion. And that's like becoming an adult is realizing bowl games are really stupid. They've always been really stupid. They've been a bill of goods sold to us for a long time.
Yeah.
But now we all understand like fairness and equitability. Or you can treat it like my guy J.E. Jernigan said on in the comments, bring the McMahon family back to have chaos. Everything is wrestling. Have we not learned that through the last 2 weeks? Everything is wrestling. So like and now the commissioner of college football, boom, no chance. That's what you got.
Yeah, that would be crazy. I also would not want Vince McMahon touching college football. Let's be real. Would not want him touching a lot of things.
Like, no. In that way, like, totally bring Condoleezza Rice would be great. Not Vince McMahon. Not
no
Vince
doubt.
McMahon.
No, but I do. Someone said maybe secondary playoff like the NIT. I don't even think you need to have a secondary playoff like the NIT. It should mean something. Like if you're a group of 5 team, you should be able to compete within your level and win a championship that you feel proud of.
Yeah, but
that's not some consolation.
But what if in the consolation bracket playoff in the NIT, the final reward wasn't a trophy, or like you're the winner of the NIT champion? It was like $1 million towards your NIL.
A lot of group of 5 programs would love $1 million.
You talk about incentivizing teams, or $1 million just to the roster.
Yeah,
like you get like Kewan Lacey, you get $1 million bonus if you are part of your share.
But there are money tie-ins from just playing in those games anyway.
Oh,
right?
that's why everyone like I saw a question in the chat. Somebody's like, "Are there any Ole Miss opt-outs?" Not that I can tell. No one of significance. I promise you that because part of their contractual obligation to Ole Miss, they want to get paid. You got to finish this.
Yeah.
You want to opt out? You ain't getting paid. Ain't no kid. Let alone they're not going to give up.
You see what Georgia did with Damon Wilson?
No. What they do?
Dude, they're suing him for like $390,000+ of damages because
this is business now.
We don't have. It is, dude. UGA, dude. That's the crazy part. It's like UGA. Kirby Smart has been, I wouldn't say a critic of this new NIL system, but he is very much trying to die on this hill of I'm not paying you to come in and just make more money than the guys already on my roster. Like you got to earn it. You got to want to come in here and actually play freaking football. Yeah. That's what he always talks about. And so I've always
2110, my lifelong friend. What's up, my guy? What's up, my guy? Love that dude.
What's your boy?
He's a Louisiana boy too now.
Is he?
He's got that split down the middle. He's got a little LSU Ole Miss. He got some dual allegiances.
He got that the little house, the mat outside the house divided.
I just think that's gonna be on my guy's gravestone because I'm gonna make sure of it. You know what I mean? Like he's all purple and gold, I think, but we gonna make sure he's enough red and blue. You know what I mean? My guy Josh, love you, buddy.
That's awesome. No, but no doubt, dude. I mean, just seeing Georgia go after Damon Wilson, who had a hell of a year at Missouri, but he had certain obligations and certain amount of money that he signed a contract for, and people haven't been. I mean, schools have been scared. Like, do we even have legal grounds to go after this? Is there even a governing body that would recognize this. And Georgia, I mean, Georgia's not just doing this lightly. Like, they clearly did their research and waited all season and finally, okay, we're in the right place. Let's do it. 100% could see that happening a lot more, man. I mean, that would have, like, Quinshon Judkins, that would have affected his situation big time.
And
Ole Miss
also
would have done
actionable stuff potentially for coaches.
100%. It's got to happen. You got private equity firm. We're talking about all this stuff, y'all. There's no other solution. CBA needs to happen. Establish it like it's a league. Put people under contract so there's not chaos. It's the only way to rein everything in. You can still make money, but you got to treat them like employees because, I mean, that's just where we're at right now.
And you wouldn't be wondering if Kejuan Lacey would follow Lane Kiffin to LSU. He would be locked into a multi-year contract. But also, he probably wouldn't be here because he signed a multi-year contract with Missouri out of high school. Yeah. That's the second piece of it. It's just
– also love what Joey McGuire said about, did you see what he said? He was like, if a coach leaves a team in the middle of the season or a playoff run, players can't transfer to that school for a year. You know what I mean? Or that coach players get to be in the playoff the next year type of stuff. Like, I don't disagree with some of this stuff.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. And for the LSU fans who can't get out of the chat, guys, we've been trying to not talk about Lane Kiffin. You're the ones still talking about Lane Kiffin. All right.
But as you should. He's your coach. Congratulations.
He's your coach. And y'all are sitting at home. So
y'all should help him find a hot yoga studio. I'm hearing he's having trouble getting the right heat.
Well, he's going to he'll do weird stuff like pouring water all over his mat and bouncing a golf ball and making the girls around him uncomfortable. But that's y'all's problem. And y'all are sitting at home, so you have to be in the chat for Ole Miss instead of, preparing for a playoff game, which is what Ole Miss is doing.
Damn right.
A playoff game. And because all we have is now. Y'all can talk about, we got a championship in 2019. I don't care. Right now in 2025, no one gives a shit about your past.
Are we doing a GRD from the Grove, or what are you doing? You going to do Taco Champs? What's the vibe next week?
I don't know, but I'm going to do something. If you want to come and you want to be,
don't want me to be. Y'all see that? He didn't.
I didn't say what I said. I don't know. I just
Ben's like, I'm going to do something. I don't know what you're going to do.
People saying, well, Ben, are you getting paid? I don't know. No one's called. And also, this Jake Smith, HYDR, so right, Lane's still talking about the zip. He is. Like, why is he commenting on a rival school's offensive coordinator hire?
He can't help it, guys. He's a 12-year-old.
We're the ones talking about Lane, dude. That's how you know he's Regina George. When Caddy starts dating Aaron, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Here's Lane. He just got it. He's wearing the tight sweatpants because that's all he can wear right now. You know what I mean? Like, come on, dude.
What else have we not hit on?
There we go. What are you hearing about Watkins? I think he follows Lane to LSU. Trinidad, we've covered that. I think he's going to be Ole Miss's quarterback next year if he gets the waiver. And Kejuan's going to cost a lot of money, but Ole Miss is willing to pay it for him. They could lose them, but also, come on, man. It's year to year for everybody. I mean, look what's happening at Arizona State right here and now. And Kenny Dillingham's just saying, well, Sam Levitt, best of luck to you. Ole Miss has agency here, and of course they could lose them, but they could lose anybody. They almost lost William Eccles last year. I mean, that's every year. They also almost lost Hayden Frederico in baseball. You renegotiate with all these kids, and that's where talking about bringing in collective bargaining and talking about real rules and stuff. Man, that could protect the school from having to do this every single year. You could lock in Kejuan for a multi-year deal. You could up this and that, rights of first refusal or negotiating. What? Franchise tags. You know what I mean? What if Ole Miss wanted to tag Kejuan Lacey? You know what I mean? Like, these are all things that should be discussed. But unfortunately, they instead you're getting the Wild West and having to deal with it. So could it happen? Sure. But to answer the question specifically, I think Winnie's going to follow Lane to LSU. I think Trinidad, if he gets the waiver, will be Ole Miss's quarterback. And then Kejuan, that's just going to be, they could absolutely lose him. It's going to come down to the almighty Mama Dollar and Papa Dollar.
Yeah, you got to pay to keep him. I know you could probably get a really good running back in the portal, but you already got an established guy, one of the top ones in the country. I mean, it would also suck for Ole Miss because you had Quinshon for that historic year, and then he leaves, and now you get Kejuan, who's like a step above him as far as stats are concerned. He breaks his records, and if he leaves, it's going to be a tough pill to swallow for Ole Miss fans. But they got the money. It just depends on if it's worth it.
Jackson Carter said Phillip Rivers is signed with the Colts. Is that real? Did that man come out?
I saw that he was going to work out yesterday. Did they make it official?
Did he just come back, Sue, at 44 years old and reset his Hall of Fame clock? Dude, that means he's going to have 6 more kids in 5 years.
I saw a headline yesterday that said, when was it? Maybe today. It was like Colts audition Phillip Rivers for a possible act of elder abuse.
Or Phillip's living the dream, man. That's awesome.
Good for him. Him and his 80 kids or whatever.
That's what I'm saying. He's reset his Hall of Fame clock for another 5 years. So another 5 years, you're gonna have 6 more kids. But it looked like maybe if Philip Rivers comes back and gets his super, like I said, who's going to win the AFC? Who?
Yeah,
The Chiefs are gone.
Yeah, the AFC is a mess right now, in
So
my
like
opinion.
Daniel Jones was leading a team in the Colts that, yeah, they have a legitimate shot. What if Philip comes back and wins the Super Bowl with the friggin' Colts at 44? What a unbelievable story it would be. That
Honestly,
would be. I'm rooting for that.
yeah.
The Cowboys aren't making the playoffs, even though the Eagles suck. You know, the Cardinals have lost like 10 out of their last 11 games. The only win was the Cowboys. Otherwise the Cowboys would be heading to the playoffs with, in my opinion, one of the best rosters in football right now. But unfortunately, they're not. So I'm going to root for the Colts. If Philip Rivers is re-signing, dude, amazing. Amazing. Because, Philip Rivers could finally answer the question, is Father Time really undefeated? Now, if he
I mean,
comes out there and looks like, golly, like Burt Reynolds in the new longest yard
longest
deal,
yard.
that would be different.
Hey,
Oh,
before I
hell
get
yeah.
out of here, so Mendoza's got the Heisman a lock, right? You got any final arguments for your boy Pavia, or what do you think?
I'm just glad my guy got to go to NYC.
Yeah.
If we're just voting based on juice, you know what? Hold up.
Did you see that interview? Did you see Mendoza's post game interview, man?
Yes.
What,
He
what
is.
do you think that Heisman speech is going to sound like?
If we're just going off of juice, or
Mhm.
even more than that, this reminds me of when Eli was robbed of the Heisman. If you wanted to give it to the best player in college football, which is exactly what the Heisman is supposed to be for, Larry Fitzgerald should have gotten it over Jason White.
Oh, Jason White was a joke. That was just because
Right.
Oklahoma did a great job of promoting him.
Of course. The argument for, well, first, outside of the stats being superior to Jason White in every way, not having a super team, is like take Eli Manning off of Ole Miss and put him on Oklahoma, and put Jason White on Ole Miss and tell me what the results would be. Same thing there. Take Diego Pavia away from Vanderbilt. Now, you could say Fernando Mendoza, if he'd have been the quarterback at Vanderbilt, maybe they do the same thing, even better. I would just argue that if Eli was the entire existence of Ole Miss in 2003, I think it's fair to say that Diego Pavia is the entire existence for Vanderbilt in 2025, even though that's robbing a lot of people like Clark Lee of how good of a job they've done. But if you're like, he deserves it as the best player, most valuable player to his team and in college football. It
I
would be him.
think, yeah, I think it's fair. I mean, look, there was a long time where there was the Pavia hype, and I just was not buying it. I'm like, dude, look at his
Neither.
passing numbers. Like, it was not. But as the season went on, he got better. He was putting up better numbers as a passer, and it became very evident. The only reason Vandy was winning, just like when they lost to Bama, you put it on Pavia. Well, when they were winning as this kind of season went on, it was because of Pavia. Now, but same thing with Mendoza. Mendoza has so many Heisman moments, though. I mean, that Penn State comeback. I mean, you look at the championship game. I know it was a low-scoring affair, and it was really a defensive game. But I mean, Mendoza made some insane throws to keep his team in it. I mean, I wasn't buying it. Ty Simpson was my guy, and I mean, good
He
God,
was.
man. I mean,
What happened to our guy? He was mine too, though. Like,
he
I'm
kind
not
of
going to let
punched
you
it.
deal there by yourself. Like, what happened to our guy,
A
dude?
lot of injuries for Bama on the front. Obviously, I think they lost a key tight end, and I don't know, man. As the season went on, he definitely wasn't the same guy we saw for those. There was like a 4 or 5 week period where Ty Simpson was on fire, and
Curtis,
then it just kind of.
Curtis Merlo, 6204. Philip Rivers' last pass with the Colts was a Hail Mary from the 45-yard line that didn't make it to the end zone, and that was 5 years ago. Like I said, I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just saying what a story it would be, right?
Yeah.
If, like, Philip Rivers came back. Oh, my God.
Imagine being Riley Leonard. It's like, dude, you're so not ready for this moment that they have to go get a dude off his couch.
But also, he's hurt. I think
No
Riley
shade
Leonard
to
hurt.
Riley. It's Riley. Okay, it's Riley.
Yeah, he
hurt?
got
Okay.
hurt. Because, I think he did some pretty decent things when he replaced him. But also, man, we forget that they roster a former number 4 overall pick who was their franchise this time last year.
Yeah, AR is that's
We
that's
need
tough, man.
AR. We need AR-15.
He doesn't go. He doesn't go by that anymore. He said he got rid of that.
Well, we need him to go back to the old me as AR-15 and get in there and ball out for the Colts, or have Philip Rivers at 44 years old and it's a grandfather.
I hope it works. I really hope it works for them. I hope he takes them to the Super Bowl, man. I got no horse. I mean, the Giants are going to have the top pick, so that's really all I'm rooting for at this point.
Dude, I got a feeling your Giants are about to be on the way up, and I hate that so
I can't
much.
wait, dude. I want to know who we're going to hire. I would love. I mean, who's going to be our coach? Get Jackson another
dude,
weapon.
yeah, I saw like that dude from Seattle, isn't it? That coordinator.
Oh, is it going to be, dude?
Yeah.
Ben, I'm not going to lie to you. The only time I'm plugged into the NFL is red zone and when I have to cover the NFL. I've been so detached this year just because of just how much excitement we had when Dart came in and started playing well. And I was like, wait a minute, this could turn around. And then he gets hurt. Scatterboo gets hurt. Like, I've just been beaten to the ground this year. It's just been. AR has a broken face. He's never playing for them again. Yeah, he's probably never playing
He's
for
got
them.
a broken. Okay, well, thank you for that.
There you go.
Oh, man.
Thank you, Curtis.
Thank you for that, Curtis. Well, AR-15, it was, it was nice having you around.
All right, before we go, you got anything
moment.
else to say? Because you said I had to get you out in an hour. We're about to approach an hour and a half. And we have 219 people on right now as far as the numbers I'm seeing.
Could be 2019?
I see two. Is that 2,000? I see 219.
No, I got on Twitter alone over here. Let me look and see.
Oh, I'm not even looking at Twitter.
On my Twitter, you got to start adding a better caption than "Welcome to our live show." But yeah, I got two.
No, dude. You have to change. I had to manually go change it. I haven't figured out how to put like our own captions. You see what I'm saying? So I had to go on YouTube and Twitter.
I got, where is it? About 2,400 there.
Okay, let's go. Appreciate y'all, man. On a Tuesday.
Stop selling yourself short. Just throwing it together. Lunch break ride along. Your boy Ben and Sudu. Shouts out Riverland Roofing, 662-644-4297, riverlandroofing.com. My thanks to B&A Bank, Drew Moak of USA Benefits Group, Tannehill Carmen Real Estate and Title. There's just so many people, man, that have just been great to me and great to us.
Oh, that's right. He broke it off of an exercise band. I do remember seeing that. Like one of those resistance bands snapped and broke his face. Come on,
man.
Yeah, the guy can't catch a break, man. Is there any other questions, guys, before we go? Ben is obviously the guy that has all the info. I'm just here to yap with him. So if you got anything else.
That is not even true. Usually, it's become very Ole Miss-centric here on Game Runs Deep lately, but
it really has.
We'll go back to the full,
we got some playoff talk in, and obviously a lot of built-in Ole Miss people.
Who's your favorite to win it, if you had to pick one?
Right now, it's Indiana, Georgia. Ohio State is a very close, and it's not 1, 2, 3 for me. It's those three teams. But the way Georgia's playing right now, it's hard to argue against. The way, not only the way they're playing, the play calls from Bobo. I mean, the way the defense has stepped up. Ellis Robinson, their DB, has come along, the former 5-star. So they're killer. We saw what Indiana did to that Ohio State offense. Indiana's defense, and not to mention you have the Heisman. Probably the guy that's going to win the Heisman at quarterback. It's hard to go against them. And Ohio State, I mean, it was a 13-10 game. Like, they're still right there. And I think after that, it's everybody else.
Colts just signed Rivers to the practice squad.
Let's go. What a comeback.
Malik Heath signed with Atlanta. He was on the practice squad up and down with the Packers. Played a few games this year, according to Jim Broadway Jr. Awesome to see Malik Heath get another opportunity with the Falcons. That dude was a baller, and what a great year he had for Ole Miss. And I don't think he'll be the last Mississippi State to Ole Miss transfer. Let's just put it that way.
Oh.
My guy, Josh Clemens, God is good. Love you all the time, brother. Love you, Ben. Love you more. How bad is Anthony Richardson? Well, he broke his face apparently with some exercise equipment.
Apparently, he's struggling right now in many facets.
Andy Ludically of My Perfect Franchise.
I was rooting for AR though, man. I really was. Too. I thought I didn't buy all the draft hype on him necessarily, but I saw the potential. I'm like, dude, if he gets with a great coach.
The problem wasn't the potential.
They also gave up on him.
They did.
They never gave him.
He also wasn't a number 4 overall pick. If you could take him in like the second or third,
right?
Like, dude, it'd have been crazy.
It's that Parcells thing, Ben, we talk about. Parcells' rules for drafting a quarterback. Richardson didn't meet any of those.
You know who met all of them? Jackson Dart. Every single one of them. They checked all those boxes. Look that up. The Parcells principle in regards to drafting quarterbacks.
Actually, Ohio State and Bama aren't that good. It's why I disagree about Ohio State. Ohio State's defense is insane. And offensively, I guess they had their real kind of first test in Indiana. We'll see what that looks like against other teams. But Bama, I do think, could be a little suspect right now. That team is completely imploded. I don't know if they're definitely not playing their best football right now. We'll see. I mean, we don't talk shit about the black hoodie assassin. Okay, the silent assassin.
Here's how I would rank them. You ready? Ohio State's my favorite. Number 2 is Georgia. Number 3 is Indiana. Number 4 is Ole Miss. That's how I would rank them.
4 is Ole Miss. Yeah.
Yes.
I honestly, right now, dude, I want to see more from Oregon. So I don't. Oh, and Texas, you can't forget, dude. Texas Tech's defense. We have to give them credit.
Texas Tech's defense is good.
That defense is insane, dude. They got the Buckus winner. The other kid, I forget his name. That was just. I mean, poor Bachmeier, dude. Bachmeier's going to be having nightmares about that DB.
Not to be confused with Brockmeier.
Not Brockmeier.
Brockmeier.
Bear Bachmeier. Ben v. Kiff boxing match needs to be set up soon. I got 100 on Ben. Yeah, let's hit up Rough
Nope.
and Rowdy or whatever that Barstool
Nope.
promotion is.
No, I would do it if like for money. I do. To be honest with you, put like a bag in front of my face. There's very little that I wouldn't do. That sounds way worse than it should. But point is like I'm not a boxer, but I would box if
He's
the money
quicker
was
than
right.
you, but you've got the power. You know, I think
I
if you could get him.
I don't care about fighting. I'm just like, just own your shit. I'll tell you where I mess up. Say where you mess up. I don't care about the fighting in this. Now, if you want to get on them sticks with 2K, bro, I'll wreck him. You know
Oh,
what I
okay,
mean?
all right.
Like if you want to get on them sticks for MLB the Show, I'll wreck you. You know, but I'm not. I just not who I've been for a long, long time, man. But I will be honest. Like I was honest to him on the field before the viral moment that y'all caught, where God told me to be still, and I hate that he did. Because on that field, he first comes up, he
No,
looks
you did.
at me, man.
You made
He
the
looks
right
at
call.
me and he's like, "Did that look like a team that was distracted?" I never said anything about distractions, Lane. You called me a bitch. I said, "No, I did not." I said, "You can't turn a hoe into a housewife. Hoes don't act right." Which is, I said, that's an objectively funny thing to say. Do you
Is
not have
that
sense of humor?
who is M. Sal? Is that Bradley's like? Is
That's
that
yes. That's Brad's brother.
brother? Okay, he said him and Brad will train you, man.
Problem is I'd rather eat donuts and talk about Caddyshack. You know what I mean? Like that's way more fun. I have nothing against Lane Kiffin. I hate the way he ended this, and I wish he'd stop acting petty and just go be LSU's head coach now. Because Ole
Nah, man,
Miss is
nothing
where it
against
needs to
her.
be, and I would put them number 4. Well, Ole Miss wanted to keep Lane here. They would have been better off to have continued on with Lane. That's all they wanted, you know. But
See, you
Lane,
putting Ole Miss at 4. You know me how I feel about Ole Miss. I think offensively, I mean, it's insane. But defense is just it's Swiss cheese, man. They don't tackle well. The DBs don't go after the ball. They don't really contest catch. They just kind of stare at receivers and all. It's what we talked about Kentrell, where he's like, I just don't think they're comfortable because that's how people play when they're not comfortable. The defense is my biggest question because there's not a single level of this defense. While they have improved, and we've seen the emergence of Eccles and Womack and all those people we talked about before, it's just there's nothing exciting about that defense that you go, oh, they're going to face an elite offense and
which is
be able to
fair,
stop them. That's my
which is
biggest
fair,
question. It's like
which is
if you
fair.
win these games against top teams, it's going to have to be that Georgia level shootout, and you can't just disappear in the fourth quarter like Ole Miss did in Athens. Like that is their path to advancing in the playoff. And until I see the defense really change, which a bunch of weeks, they get 2-3 weeks to prepare for that. It's hard for me to sit here and put Ole Miss at 4. I think 6 is exactly where Ole Miss needs to be right now. And I hope to God that Pete can make some adjustments, or I don't know, these guys play with a different kind of fire. I mean, against Mississippi State, they were there, man. They were right there so many times to get a sack or make the tackle, and they just running through them. I mean, there was no intensity.
Ben don't want this smoke in MLB for real, according to Dakota King 2457.
That's
Oh,
the
I
only
do.
game that I know Ben is good at. I really
Oh,
don't
I
know how
do.
good you are at 2K, but I know that
Oh, I'm
you.
not as good as I want to be at 2K. I like, especially in the college football 26 game. I really tried to be good at that. I've gotten better ever since I was embarrassed to start the year by Raymond Collins, Ole Miss play, like did Rebel Gamers. That man whooped me, dude. Like hung an 80 burger on me because I didn't ever play defense, just the road to glory. I've
Same.
gotten better. Still not good enough to really play 2K. I'll be honest. I'm as predictable as a 2K player as you could possibly come up with. I'm a running gun. I'm a three
I
and
was
D
gonna say,
guy,
yeah.
but like I'm pulling up for three, dude. I'm shooting them. I'm Steph Curry with the shot. But MLB the Show, I want all the smoke,
That's been your game since I've known
all
you,
of it.
man.
That's
Um,
my jam. Do we
all right,
retain Smith
friends.
as running backs coach? No, I think he's leaving LSU after the playoffs.
No. All right. Well, let's wrap it up. I appreciate y'all, man. Thanks for everyone for joining. Ben said over 2,000 people. That's freaking awesome. Thank y'all. I hope you're having a great Tuesday. And man, we're getting ready for a playoff game in Oxford next week. Anything else, Ben, before we go?
God is good all the time, and all the time God is good. Ole Miss is single-digit wins away from winning a title. Let's go.
Let's get it. All right, y'all. Thanks for tuning in. Remember, you can follow him at Spirit Ben on everything. You can find me at Sudo TV on all your platforms: Twitter, Instagram,
The
TikTok,
Ole Miss
YouTube,
Spirit, omspirit.com, affiliate
OMSpirit.com.
on 3. Sign up today for $1. We're
A
here all
dollar.
day, every day. Sudu's on there. I'm on there. Bradley Sal's on there. Everybody on there, man. Just come hang with us for $1.
Yeah. Pull up. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see y'all next time. Have a great day.